Hi, I'm certainly glad you could join me today. You got your paints out and you ready to do a fantastic painting with me? Good. Tell you what, let's have them graphically run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. While they're doing that, let me tell you what I've already got done up here. We have our standard old canvas, and I've covered it with a thin coat of liquid clear. And let me repeat one word in there, thin. You need the thinnest coat of this that you can put on there. Just a very, very small amount. One jar of this probably lasts you the rest of your life. And let's do something a little different today. I'm going to start off with the old 2-inch brush and go into the least little touch of phthalo blue. We're going to make a sky with mostly transparent colors. I think you'll really enjoy that. But the least little amount. Let's go right up here. Maybe we'll just put a little touch of blue right in here. Now when we have this liquid clear underneath, color just, oh, it sparkles. Especially this transparent color. It's so pretty. There we go. Just a little touch of blue. And while I have that on the brush, I think let's do a little winter scene today. So we'll have some snow down here. So I'll just put some of these colors right down there. Without cleaning the brush, I'm going to pick up the least little amount of alizarin crimson and just tap it into the bristles. Just like so. Okay. Now then, maybe here and there, and I'm applying very, very little pressure. Very little pressure. Just barely caress the canvas. There. See there? And where these colors come together, don't fight that and don't keep blending it. Let them come together and it makes all kinds of beautiful effects. Like so. I know. Let's go into the least little touch of the dark sienna. Just the least little touch. We'll really warm the sky up. Maybe right up in here, we'll have a little bit of that. And when you're doing your painting, pick out the colors that you like. You don't necessarily have to use what I've used here. I just want to show you how to do it. There. And back to the old palette. Take a little bit of phthalo blue. I reach up here and grab a little tiny touch of alizarin crimson. So we have crimson and blue. And just mix these on the brush. Proportionately more crimson than blue. The blue is many times more stronger. And maybe right up in here, we'll just put in a little bit of that. But don't overmix your color. I want this to be a very soft but colorful sky. Just a nice little winter day. All of the colors that we've used so far are very transparent. And we can put a little of that wherever you want it down in here. This is a good place to clean off your brush. Okay. Now then, I'm going to add the least little touch more of color right up at the top. I want it a little bit darker. So same color, just lavender. And right up in here. Just so there's a little variation in color in the sky. I don't want it to be too light. There. Now let's start with titanium white. And titanium white, as you know, is a very opaque color. So I'm going to just put a little of the white right on the brush. And all this time, I have yet to wash the brush. These are the kind of paintings that I like. I'm lazy. I don't like to wash the brush. Okay. Now then, we can go in here and just here and there begin adding a little touch of opaque color. And angles now become very important if you want to create the illusion of a sky that's got a little bit of life in it. Once again, don't overwork this. Don't overwork it. Put it in, blend it a little bit, and leave it alone. And we don't want to kill all these beautiful transparent areas that you made in here, because they're what make this painting special, and you'll like them. You'll like them. A little bit maybe right in here. Let's see how that all comes together. And it's working with transparent and opaque colors. Opaque, I just mean you can't see through it. There. Okay. And that easy, you have a very effective striking sky. Okay, now we can have some fun. As I say, we're going to do a little winter scene today. So let's put some little trees back in the background. And we'll use the old round brush for that. I like it. It's nice for making distant trees. And I'm going to start out with a little bit of black. And let's reach over here and I get a little touch of the blue. Oh, a little Van Dyke brown. Whatever. Dark sienna. We just mix them all in there. We don't want a lot of color on the brush. And tap it firmly. Just really tap it. So you can see how hard the brush is bending there. Tap firmly. Let's go right up here. Now then you have to make your first big decision. Where do your little trees live in your world? Now, just take and start tapping. And I like to start at the base of these trees and tap upward. That way it's darker at the bottom than it is at the top. See? You can see how the brush is bending, and mostly using the top bristles. And that's what creates all those nice little fluffy, leafy areas out here. And all we're looking for at this point are just very basic little shapes. Very basic. These are far, far away trees. I add a little touch more of the dark sienna in it. I want a little more brownish color in there. I like winter scenes that have a little warmth in them, so I like to use colors that are warm, not just good old cold colors. Sometimes winter scenes can be so cold that they're distracting, that they make you uncomfortable to look at them. So I normally try to add a tiny little bit of warmth into my winter scenes. Anyway. Okay. Now then, if you want to create the illusion of mist, softness at the base of this, you can do that. Let's do that with a 2-inch brush. Make sure your brush is nice and dry. And you can go up here and firmly, using the top of the brush again, tap. Just tap. And you're really striking it quite hard. There we go. But all I want to do is create mist at the base of this. I don't want to create mist all the way up. Just at the base. You can probably hear how hard I'm striking the canvas. Okay. Then very lightly, just lift upward. Just lift upward. Isn't that easy? You can create the illusion of little trees that are far off in the distance. They'll really work. Very nice. Now, let's start. I'm going to take a titanium white on the 2-inch brush. And you have to make another big decision now. Where does your snow live? Have to make a decision. And go right up in here and you decide where it lives and pull. Just pull. Allow it to pick up some of that color that you made your trees out of. That ends up being shadows. It'll be very pretty. See how it just glides right over that liquid clear. Another little trick that'll really make your painting more interesting. Maybe you want to create the illusion of a little more distance in here. Put a first layer of snow, then go back. I'm just going to use some Van Dyke brown on the round brush and dark sienna. Now then, I want to put another layer of little bushy trees, but come outward. See, the snow is behind that now. You can push that back and it'll create a whole other plane in your painting. And you can do as many or as few of those as you want. The more you do, the more depth you'll have in your painting. And then come up here, see there, and lay some snow under that. And automatically now you have several planes in that. Sneaky, huh? These little things are what makes your painting interesting. Now down here, see right in here, we wipe some of that blue off our brush. Don't kill all that. Let it stay there. It's very pretty. Very, very nice. Okay, now maybe we want to change an angle here. All you have to do is change the angle of your snow. And you can push all that back. That easy. Did you know that you had that much power? That you could move snow, could create trees, anything that you want. On this piece of canvas, you have unlimited power. Absolutely unlimited power. And when you're using these big old brushes, and shoot, it doesn't take but a minute to fill it up and to do your painting. I used to agonize over paintings for months. And now I just enjoy it. But see, already you have a nice little area here that could be a field of snow and be a nice place for the little bunny rabbit to live. Now we could take our knife and scrape through and make a few little sticks and twigs back here. Just here and there. Don't want too many, but a few would show through. And all you're doing is taking the point of the knife and scraping them in. Wherever you think they should live, that's where they ought to be. Okay. Now then, with a fan brush, you can come right up in here. Let me put a little white on there. Grab some of this dark color, and now then begin working it in here. And just begin pulling some of that color down in. I add a little color to the fan brush. I want to get a little bit of that color into the snow. There. And just let it sneak back in there. You can make all kinds of little recesses and just happy little places in there. Drop them in. Okay. Now then, I think in my world, there's some little trees live there. So let's do that. Take the number 2 script liner brush, and I'm going to go right into Van Dyke Brown. And I've dipped the brush into paint thinner. So I want to make this paint as thin as ink, almost like water. See how thin? And turn that brush when you take it off the palette. That'll pull it to a nice sharp point. Turn it, and it comes very sharp. Okay, now maybe back in here, there's all kind of happy little trees that live. There they go. All kinds of little trees. Now, if you have trouble making your paint stick, add a little bit more of the paint thinner. See, there comes all kinds of little things. Okay. Add a little more thinner to my brush. There's one. You know, wherever you want them to be. Wherever. There. And as many or as few as you want. Okay, now let's skip a little space and maybe down here. Yep, you're right. There lives another little tree. We don't want him over there to get lonely. And then we need some limbs on that tree. There. See how easy those are to make? And you can just keep on and on and on. You can put a lot of detail in there. Just hundreds of little limbs. And just keep going until your tree is like you want it to be. Okay, maybe another one right there. But see, all these different layers of trees help create the illusion of distance. And they really make your painting much more interesting. There we go. Okay. And you can take the old fan brush and just sort of clean up his foots a little bit and blend it right into the snow. Add a little bit of the liquid clear, go right into some titanium white. And maybe we want to show, maybe there's a little stone under the snow right there or something. Something that causes a protrusion, a bump. See, and that easy, you can drop that right in. And anywhere you use this liquid clear, when it dries, it'll have a sheen to it. It'll look like it's been glazed. It's a very, very nice effect. Tell you what, let's do. Let's have a happy little barn back here. I like that. And one of the easiest ways is to just take your knife and sort of scrape out a basic shape to give yourself an idea of where you want it and to lay out your perspective and to remove any excess paint. See, that easy. You have a very general idea of where you want this rascal to live. Maybe we'll put a little shed out here like that. However, now then, we can start off with just titanium white. We can sort of outline this. Decide where you want it to live and do like that, and then bring your paint in. That's probably the easiest way to get a nice smooth edge there. Sometimes when you get my age, you get a little shaky and you need all the help you can get. There. Now then, we want a corresponding angle on the other side because there'd be snow on the other roof. See, about like so. Bring it right down. And then we need to put some boards in that old barn. Use some Van Dyke brown, touch of dark sienna. Pull it out very flat, flat as you can get it. Then cut you off a little roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife. Now we can go in here and we create the overhang. If a little of that white gets in there, it makes it look like little boards. And then you have to decide how tall he is. You have to make all kind of big decisions. There he goes. See there? That easy. Okay, now then, we have the other side over here, like that. And we said there was going to be a little shed on this barn. So just take the white and come right out like so. There he goes. There. And once again, we need some boards underneath there. Let me clean off my knife and we'll put some sides in the front right on the little shed. Okay, now with a knife you can sort of take and clean up the bottom of it. You have to make a decision here where you want it to be. I think we're going to have a little snowbank that comes around and like that. Now then, take a little dark sienna, some white, mix them together. Cut off that little roll of paint again. Okay, now then, let's just go up here and just sort of touch, give it a little pull, just a little sidewards pull. Make it look like old boards and leave some cracks. This is an old barn. It's old and it's tired and winter's been rough on it. Okay, and then we can come right along here. Just drop them in. Now the other side, we just add some Van Dyke brown and make this side much darker, much darker. And then once again, you just take your knife and do a cabinectomy. You just take off whatever you don't want. Okay. Now we need a way to get into this old barn. So let's build us a door. Just straight old Van Dyke brown. Decide where the door is going to be and just pull it down. Zoop. See there? Isn't that easy? That easy. You've got a door in there. Take a touch of white. Maybe there's a little white right around here. Just firm up your edges. A little bit of dark. This is just some Van Dyke brown, and you can really increase the illusion of old boards here just by touching. And we'll take off all that excess paint. Now, back to our fan brush. We'll dip into the liquid clear, into titanium white. Load the brush full of paint, a lot of paint. Okay. Now then, just bring some snow right down there, like that. And some right along this little side here. Now, over here, try to pick up a little bit of that dark so we can create the illusion of a shadow. We want a shadow over here. Now then, we can just bring all this together. Winter scenes are very nice and they're very easy to paint. This liquid clear you'll find is fantastic for doing snow or sand dunes. Sand dunes are done basically the same way. Okay, let's go back to the liner brush here and I'll go right back into some Van Dyke brown. Thin the paint down. Maybe there's a happy little fence that's right there, and all you have to do we'll let it go right over, zoop, like that. See, and all you got to do then is just put a few little rails in there, but let it get smaller and smaller as it goes off in the distance. Maybe it comes down here, and it'll help give the illusion of distance to your fence. Okay, then we can put a little bit of snow around his foots. That easy. Okay. Now then, I've got several fan brushes going. I'm going to take a little bit of the brown. And maybe somewhere in here, maybe there's some patches where the snow is sort of melted. And you can see a little bit of dirt here and there. Just wherever. And also, maybe here and there, maybe there's a happy little bush. It's still there. It's all dead, but it's poking up out of the snow. This old farmer, he took care of his land like I do. He's not a good grass cutter. Maybe there's some more right in here, wherever you want them. Wherever you want them. Just push upward on the fan brush. This is just Van Dyke Brown and dark sienna. Shoot, it's so much fun. Let's put some over here. Maybe there's one back in there. Just sort of let it follow the lay of the land. And shoot. You can get carried away with these. They're a lot of fun. I'll put one here too. Now then, with our fan brush that has the liquid clear and the titanium white on it, we can go right up in here and grab a hold of these and work them. Blend them out. Just bring everything together. Like so. See how easy that is? And it really just sort of brings everything together. Cleans up the bottoms of all these little grassy areas and makes your painting so much more interesting. Okay, a little bit right in there. Okay. Back to my liner brush. I'm going to go right into the Van Dyke Brown again. Just load the brush full. And let's have, maybe there's a happy little tree that lives over here. We don't want this side left out. Wherever. In your world, you put as many or as few trees as you want. Wherever you want them. Wherever. I tell you what, let's do. Sort of look at it, decide. There's another tree. Lives right there. He's a little bigger because he's closer to you. And drop in a few little limbs, branches, little arms on the tree. Gotta give him some arms. Little birds have to have a place to sit. There. There we go. A little more of the thinner, and you can put a couple little ones here and there. Okay, shooting trees is so much fun. Let's get crazy. I'll take the old fan brush here and go right into a big bunch of the Van Dyke Brown. Really load that brush full. Let's come right about here. So we're going to check you out for bravery today. Let's just drop one right in there. And maybe he's got a little friend that lives right here beside him. Yeah, that was your bravery test. Sometimes it's hard to get up enough nerve to drop in a big tree right over everything that you've painted. But do it. Just enjoy it. But in your painting, if you don't want a tree there, don't put one there. Just want to give you some options. There we go. We'll make this one look like an old birch tree. Now, I've mentioned in other shows, if I paint trees that are not like the trees in your area, change them. Make them so they look like the trees that live where you do. Okay, back to our liner brush. Right into some Van Dyke brown. And let's put some happy little limbs out here on this tree. Thin paint. A lot of thinner in there. See how easy those are? They just sort of flow right on there. And you have to decide which tree's in front and which one's behind. All these big decisions. And have some of the branches come across the trunk. You don't want them just all coming out from the side. Let some of them come right across the trunk. That'll help give your tree more dimension, more shape. Much more pleasing when it's finished. And it'll make you happier. And I really want these paintings to make you happy. And I want you to enjoy painting along with us. We get so many cards and letters from people all over the country that are experiencing fantastic success. And that makes it all worthwhile. There we go. See, just as many or as few as you want, wherever you want them. And that really gives dimension to your painting and helps push everything back. And we'll put a few little things living right in here. See, however many. I'll take a little bit of red and we'll sign this painting. I think it's about finished. And I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun painting with you today. Give us Liquid Clear a try. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless, and we'll see you next time.